and this will skew it even more so. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I think personally, but looking at what we should be doing with the game, like are we designing for ourselves or for the players that play you online? I think it's a bad time to put it in right now.
Okay. Mittens, do you have any comments on the subject?
Oh, I actually zoned out because I was busy looking at my 14 billion Jabber channels. Were you talking about delayed local or some other ridiculous idea?
We were talking about delayed local and your opinions on delayed local.
Delayed local is great for people who want to have delayed local. That's people in wormholes. It creates a very interesting style of Eve. Living in a wormhole is sort of like a bizarro Eve where ships that would normally never see the light of day in nullsec get used all the time. Things like legions are used in combat regularly in wormholes. But I think that forcing that on everyone when most people don't want that is not a good idea. People who are attracted to that kind of gameplay can go off and enjoy that. The biggest problem with delayed local is that it's very difficult at the level of arranging fights for alliances. A lot of times alliances will, you need to have the local to avoid the two ships passing in the night difficulty, essentially. You need to have that intel tool. My idea with changing intel is actually has nothing to do with local or delayed local, which is I think useful for wormholes but is a false solution. I would really, in almost every aspect of anything involving sovereignty, I've always liked the idea of expanding upon the mechanic of the infrastructure hub, installing upgrades that actually improve your space. One of the things that we had discussed in the past, and I think this was in the May Summit, was the idea of having intel tools such as SensorNet, satellite networks, scanners, things like that, that are installed in an iHubs, essentially. So you have a gradation of intel. So for example, at one end of the continuum, you are in the Dragon's Tail section of Outer Ring. It's completely undeveloped. There's no NPC stations. There's no stations around. There's just nothing. And in a place like that, having delayed local or even no local at all, not even a way to communicate with each other through local would be really interesting, because then you could have sort of a U-boat style gameplay. And then as you have NPC stations, you get a little bit more intel. And then when you have alliances using iHubs to install satellite networks, sensor upgrades, things like that, then you get not just, hey, there are hostiles here, but perhaps you get early warnings. Perhaps you get API-based pings. So you install an iHub in a border system, in a pipe system, or in a empire system, and then if you have the right upgrade, a 200-man fleet blazes through there. It sends you a little warning notice because you installed the appropriate sensor upgrade. And in systems where they have a satellite net, you get information as to who's there. And I think that that's a much more interesting possibility as far as gameplay goes than just a somewhat ham-handed herf-derf, either you have perfect local or you have no local. And it ties into the idea of developing your space, having a stake in not just being an alliance, but having a stake in upgrading and maintaining your territory.
I think that at some level, a lot of people want like the Farmville system, where the more I work, the more I get, that sort of thing. Whereas at this point, it's sort of like, the more I work for a week, I finally get Sov, whatever, and install the highest level anomaly upgrade, and then they're done. Because everyone wants to wrap those upgrades in carriers or whatever they want to do, or Tengus. So I think that definitely needs some sort of fixing or implementation or iteration. Now, hold on. This is a problem where I get too drunk and I can't think of things to come up to talk about for the next couple.
Well, I love you very much, Michael Bolton, but we have been doing this for more than an hour now.
We have.
So it might be time to wrap it up.
I think you are right. It might be time to wrap it up. I would like to thank CCP Sounwave, the Mittani from Goonswarm, and Whitetree from Elite Space Guild for joining me for this interview. I look forward to having future interviews, depending on who the guests may be. But I hope everyone has an excellent day, and I hope they enjoy many wonderful kill mails and get killed very little. And thank you for joining me. Have a great day.
Thanks, dudes.
See you later, man. Good luck in your 40K tournament.
Good luck in 40K as well.